Right, next speaker we've got Philip Ivanier. Philip works for Spark Venture Labs and was the driving force behind the recently announced ingenious idea, I have to say, of enabling the old Spark phone booths to be converted into EV charging stations. Philip will provide you an update of how that's all going, and also I believe he may be a champion for EVs at Spark itself. So I look forward to listening to that. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks very much. Thanks for the opportunity. So first thing, Spark Ventures, we sort of do things that you don't expect Spark to do. I don't think anyone expected us to put EV charging in a phone box, so it's a good thing. So Spark, a little bit about Spark and what we're doing with EVs. Number of initiatives going on. We've added 2 EVs to our pool cars as well, so we've added 2 cars. We've added AC charging in Spark City, so if you come to a meeting at Spark and you're driving your EV, you can easily plug it in. They're well signed with the new sort of national signage for EV parking and EV charging. And we're also trialing Spark Plug. We're really trying to do our part for the infrastructure. We have an asset, and we'd like to get people to use it. So our EVs, we brought the first two Peugeot Ions into the country. These are used. Yes, our fleet sort of procurement folks agreed to buy a used car. They work well. It's basically an iMEV with a larger battery and a higher spec interior. The key thing for us is we wanted to buy cars that were affordable by the average New Zealander. So before the vote in the UK last week, these cars could be had for roughly $16,000 dropped into New Zealand. Take roughly 20% off of that this week. I don't know what next week is going to be. And these cars are affordable by, the average New Zealander, quite simply. They're perfect for staff popping around Auckland. You're not going to drive this from Auckland to Wellington, I guarantee that. But around Auckland, going to meetings, they're great. And we've branded them so that people on the street learn that it's an electric car. So a little bit about what I sort of call the importance of a visible charging station. Turn the time machine back a couple of years, about 100 years. First petrol cars, first electric cars, but first cars in New Zealand, around the 1900s, right? There weren't petrol stations on the corner. People were quite anxious and nervous about how am I going to drive to where I need to go and take a petrol can with them. And from what I've been told, getting petrol in the country was really hard. You had to import it privately from Sydney. So, think about having the extension cord driving behind the car. It was really, really hard. Anyone who, that was really quite hard. The visible charging network. Anyone in this room or anyone who drives an EV knows how to go to PlugShare. They know where the chargers are. They know they're in this garage, behind this building. You learn and you know where they are. If you're looking to buy an EV, you have no clue, right? You might see the Vector chargers, you might see the ChargeNet chargers, but there aren't many of them. So, one of the things we're trying to do is convert our phone boxes to charging stations because we have a lot of phone boxes, and if we brand them, lots of people will go, oh, there's a charger. I can plug in. I can get to where I'm going. And we're not, so that's what we're trying to do. So if you look at Japan and PlugShare, there are more charging stations in Japan than there are gas stations, right? All of these are fast DC chargers. 4,600 or 50, it's a very big number, right? You can just see one of the letters in Japan. That is Japan under there. And I think that, helped the adoption of EVs in Japan. Everywhere you look, there's a charger. You can't miss it. Okay. So what is Sparkplug? It's quite simply adding the ability to charge your EV at a phone box. To date, we've converted 5 phone boxes around Auckland, not inside of Auckland, but around Auckland. They're J1772 or Type 1 connectors. They can be any connector we'd like it to be. Full 7 kilowatt AC charging, approval of local councils and NZTA as well as WorkSafe. So, whatever we do at Spark, we take seriously and we'll do properly. So these are, completely above board. Simple phone box, not the best picture, sorry. You can see the connector on the side. You basically pull up, you plug in, and you charge. Simple, it works. Right. Where could Sparkplug be? Well, this is on our public website. I'll add up the numbers for you. It's about 2,700 phone boxes across the country. Not all of them are perfect. Not every one, some of them don't have power, but 2,700 is a big number, and it covers large parts of the country. Southern example, we're a phone box in Southland. We're all the way at the bottom of the country. There are a lot of them. Around Nelson, same thing. There are a lot of phone boxes. So it's an economical way to deploy. We already have power and reasonable power at our phone boxes. Leverages the infrastructure we have. We can support 15 kilowatts of AC or DC charging. I think people are surprised that we have that much power at a phone box, but in most cases we do. In a couple of cases, we even have more power than that. We can support 20. Helps with the psychological barrier of where am I going to charge. And if you notice from the picture before, we've branded it bright orange, plug in here, free charging, and help reduce range anxiety. We're not about charging you from some amount to 80% in 15 or 20 minutes. We'll never be able to do that. It's not a place for us. We're about giving drivers the electrons they need to get to where they need to go so they can charge fully overnight. That's what we're about doing, right? So where to from here? We are talking to a number of councils. We will not do this on our own. It's not our core business, and it just becomes too hard without council's consent and working with the council. And the 5 sites that we have up, 4 of them are used every single day. I can't tell you if it's the same person. We're not monitoring them, but they're used every day. We've gotten emails from EV drivers saying, hey, this really worked. I was surprised. It's a good thing. People are using it. Thank you.
Thanks, Philip.